I had been talking to him about how I was enjoying the coding side of things and was thinking about making a career switch to that kind of thing and didn't have any idea of where to start. And he
And he
was
was
like,
like, you like coding, huh? Well,
yeah,
I got this place for you.
exactly.
First of all, Derek, congratulations on 5 years at Point of Rental.
Thank you. Yeah, it's been good.
Good. Before we get to your career at Point of Rental, can you give me like a quick 1 minute rundown of what you had done before you got to Point of Rental and how it's helped you here?
Sure. Yeah, before Point of Rental, I had a couple of jobs at some engineering kind of firms. So both of them building industrial equipment kind of things. My background's in mechanical engineering, and so at both those jobs, I did a lot of mainly like 3D modeling and making the manufacturing drawings and that kind of thing. As I was doing that, I started doing some coding that was related to the software that I used. It had the ability to be extended and you could code additional functionality into it.
Yeah.
And so I found myself doing that more and more and trying to make my job easier by adding new functionality to
Yeah.
the software that I used. And so really enjoyed that, found out that I liked that. Um, Another way that I'm really grateful for that experience is I had a long period of experience kind of working with this software that was kind of like the focal point of how I got my work done. And
Yeah.
so I feel like that's given me a good lens into, rental is a whole different industry and a whole lot of differences to it. But I have an appreciation for the importance of, when your work centers around this application that you're using and you're relying on it to be able to get your job done for the
Yeah.
day. Seeing it work really well is really appreciated, and then when there's issues, I have a good kind of appreciation for someone's relying on that tool to get through their day. And so,
Yeah.
um,
And
yeah,
if anything goes wrong with it, it really messes up your whole day.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, how did you hear about Point of Rental and what did you come here to do initially?
So I heard about it through Andrew Sherrington in marketing. He's my brother-in-law, and I had been talking to him about how I was enjoying the coding side of things and was thinking about making a career switch to that kind of thing and didn't have any idea of where to start. And he
And
was
he was
like,
like, you like coding, huh? Well,
yeah,
I got this place for you.
exactly. Yeah. So we had a few conversations about it over the period of a few weeks or months. And eventually I was like, that sounds pretty much like what I'm looking for. Great fit for kind of the switch I was looking to make. And so I'm glad I did. I initially started on pretty much for what I've been doing, which was to work on the desktop side of Elite, so the legacy desktop side, but also try to be learning the web and more modernized side, and um, still hoping to do that more. But um, that was kind of the initial plan when I
Okay.
started. Yeah.
Well, I know over 5 years we tend to grow, we tend to change. What are some of the things that you've been doing in the meantime? And you already mentioned a little bit getting into the web. And when we
Mhm.
were talking before this, I saw that you had gone on a recent customer visit. So talk to
Yeah.
me about how your role has kind of changed a little bit.
So, like I said, I'm still mainly developing on the desktop side, kind of on the back end of Elite. Um, a couple other things that I've worked on in the meantime. I spent a good stint of time working on the DevOps side of Elite with our builds and deployments and that kind of thing. That was fun. I haven't engaged in that as much recently, but it was an area that was just ripe for improvement. It's something that I was kind of rudimentary, has been for a long time, and as we've gone along, Adam has put a lot of work into it, and other people have put a lot of work into um, improving that. And now we have a whole DevOps team who's looking at doing that from a more expertise standpoint. For me, it was just kind of learning as I went. But most of my time lately has been in payments, so payment processing and Elite and balancing and payment balance and all that kind of stuff. And a world that I never would have imagined would be something that would take so much time and effort. Um, but it's been good.
Yeah, that's the part of the world that I am just like, I don't know, my brain just starts screaming at me whenever we talk finances, and it's like, I
Yeah,
know this is really important to everyone, but it seems like it's intentionally confusing.
it is. Yeah, there's a lot of complexity to it, and there's even a whole side. Like I'm mainly focused on the processing and balancing side, but there's a whole accounting and tax integration and all of that I've barely touched. That's a whole separate world. That's even more. So
Yeah.
it's a lot to learn, and there's always more to learn, and we're still kind of, I think, figuring our way as we go along as to what's important to customers and what they need. So
Yeah, I'm guessing that's a big part of why you're going on customer visits and figuring out what's important to them. And
yeah, and that was great. I got to go to select event, um, and got to go with Sean, who's in the consulting department, and Brooke, who's in support, and Jessica, who's a customer success manager. And it was really great. I'm glad I went. I don't think I contributed a whole lot. Like I mainly just observed, but I learned a lot, and it was great to see Sean and Brooke and Jessica interacting with the customer and hearing their operations and describing what they do and their problems and their um, what they need out of the software, and
yeah,
just a whole uh, deep well of knowledge from the three of them. That was really cool
yeah,
to see.
yeah. I think that is supposed to be your contribution, is that like, you get to have the takeaways and then bring it back,
Yeah,
because
definitely.
yeah, I haven't heard of this at like a lot of other companies, but yeah, there's just definitely something different about being on site and actually seeing the stuff in action, and you can see how the
Mhm.
stuff, you know, as you were talking about with your previous job, it's like, hey, I know what it's like.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, well, you've been here 5 years, so what's opinions have to change over 5 years. We can't just stay the same. So as part of your growing, like, what's something that you've changed your opinion on in the 5 years since you've been here?
Yeah, this isn't so much a change of opinion as just something I've learned. I guess it could be kind of a
Yeah,
change of opinion,
that counts.
if that counts.
Yeah,
But just the importance of communication. So this is something that's, I think, been a recurring theme for like the engineering department, the GSD team, of like cross department communication, for just keeping everyone in the loop of what's going on, new things coming out, things to be expecting. Like those people I mentioned, Sean, Brooke, and Jessica, just like support, implementation, consulting, these other teams that I barely interacted with for almost 5 years of being here.
yeah,
Support a little bit, but like they're all, everything that we build is funneling to them at some point. And like just having this uh, ongoing awareness of the things that we're adding and changing and how it impacts customers workflows. I'm trying to do better about like, how do we communicate those things, how do we document that so that um, it's it's persisted somewhere that um, even without talking to you,
yeah,
someone can go find out how that works. And so um, we had a day in the life day recently at the onsite, and I think one of the big takeaways for a lot of us, and especially for me from that, was just the importance of communication and keeping everyone in the loop as we're
yeah,
going
for sure.
along.
Well, that's one of my big goals in my new position in internal marketing. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, if you have anything that you want to get out there, let me know. Also,
Awesome.
if you have any ideas for other people to share, if there's anything that you want to see from other departments, that it's like, hey, I'm trying to put this information out there for you
Yeah.
guys. It'd be nice if I knew what you guys were up to. All right. One thing that I think we do a pretty good job of here, but I can't get enough of seeing, is sharing gratitude.
Mm.
So who would you like to thank for, your journey over these past 5 years?
Probably lots of people, but I think definitely stand out would be Jason. He's been just really great to work with and work for, and he's always been super supportive of me and the whole team. Just setting up an environment for us to be successful in, and going to bat for us, advocating for us, being an advocate. I think the thing that stands out for me about Jason, and probably for anyone who who's worked with him is that I think his big drive is to just make point of rental successful and to make the people and point of rental successful. And I get the sense that drives a lot of what he does. He's not, I don't get the sense that he's driven by pride or, trying to get ahead or trying to make himself look good. It's just, I always get the sense that he's, first and foremost, in this situation, what can I do to help, make us successful and make us build the best software we can, and help his team do that. And so I think that kind of culture, I guess, I get the sense that a lot of the elite team and just others within point of rental are the same way. And I think um, it definitely comes across when you're not in it for yourself and you're in it for the team and for others.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely also always get that impression whenever I talk with Jason as well. As long as we're not thanking Andrew, I'm okay with it.
Oh yeah. Well, I would definitely thank Andrew as well, but yeah.
Okay. Well, darn it. I'll have to delete
Sorry.
All right. Now again, you've hit 5 years. So now you're a wise, learned pointer. If you could only deliver one message to a new pointer and have them instantly receive it and like apply it to their lives, what would you tell them?
Rental is like, especially companies like the one that I went to visit, Select. It's just a huge operation, and there's so much complexity. There's so much that's involved, from like inventory and writing the contracts and fulfillment and distribution and loading trucks and raw materials and accounting for those when you're uh, renting things out, and just all these things that like I never would have even thought of. But I guess the takeaway would be, any chance that you get to fast track that knowledge and to, either go on a customer visit or talk to someone who's worked in rental at the company. I think those are really valuable, just to have that industry business knowledge of the bigger picture of what we're building for.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would tell people, I think if it's a matter of like, hey, you need to find someone who's willing to host you and let you like do a little job shadow for a day or whatever, I think most people are receptive and open to it, especially if you're a developer, and then it's like, oh well, gee, I can talk to someone who can actually make these changes that I want
You
in
can
the
go in
software.
and fix it. Yeah. Exactly. That's cool.
All right. Well, thank you for joining me today, Derek. Congratulations again on those 5 years, and I'll see you in another 10 or in another 5.
Sounds great. Thank you.